He had a 3 hour sleep. Cuddle.
They come outside with Daddy.
Hi. Hopefully that will give us a little bit more time. Hi, Davina.
Oh,
Hello, hello.
Hey, love. Oh, good. We're back on. Cool. Well, we've been waiting patiently, Dav. It's only us at the moment.
Okay.
Hopefully we get a few more. It's only 6:32.
Yes. 9:32.
You're sorry. Yeah, 9:32 over there. I know it's very hard because obviously when I wasn't doing Zoom meetings with everyone around Australia and it was just Perth-based girls, my team, we did them at, when kids were finished eating, bathing, into bed, we did them at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So obviously we can't do that now. So it is a big cat fight to try and get 2 little ones fed, bathed and doing something or into bed.
I can only imagine.
But, yeah, luckily Daddy's not at work till later, so I've just fed and bathed and he's out there building a front door with Daddy.
awesome.
Literally.
Building a front door.
Yeah, the brand new front door is the last decent thing to do on this house before we put it on the market. So other than just like those horrible jobs like cleaning the window and door tracks and window cleaning and wiping walls and everything else has been done really. So then we're going to try and sell it ourselves, like with one of the, buymyhouse.com places. Give it a red hot go. We'll see.
Sure.
And then we'll just be renting for a while before we just downsizing debt if that needs to be done, and then we will eventually build down on our block down south on the beach.
Awesome.
Very good. Anita's
Kind of the opposite plan.
we can't make it. So I don't know about Bella or Donna. Usually never misses any. So Michael, do you know about Donna? No, you're on mute. Unmute.
No, sorry.
You don't know,
I don't know about Donna.
No. Well,
I reckon we just get started.
okay. It's
I
like
don't know if you can hear me.
we can.
Yes, we can.
I can.
Okay.
Oh, I am seeing everyone, aren't I? Yeah, there we go. I've changed the view. Oh, Carrie's here. Sorry, Carrie. I didn't see you until I changed my view.
How do you do that?
It might be a bit on your phone. I went to gallery view on the computer.
I've got 4.
Can you see Carrie, Tammy?
And there's Gary.
Yeah.
No, she's black. Hello, you're black like me. I'm the whitest black person my grandmother knows. Let's just face that.
Oh, you're a dag.
So,
All right. 35. So I reckon if we, make it a standard thing that we wait 5 minutes, then I reckon that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fair
I
enough.
think so.
Okay. Well, Tammy, have practice talking in front of us and introducing. you want to
introducing. Well, first of all, thanks for coming on and signing in, and I like seeing everyone's faces. This is a whole new experience for me all over the country. We've got Shen tonight. She is just going to have take us through some training on building relationships. And I'm actually looking forward to that because I have one customer except for myself. And as enthusiastic as she is a walking advert for me. But, yeah, I need to attract some more, definitely. So, Shen, it's over to you.
Thank you, lovely Tammy. Okay, so I thought it might be good for me to sort of look back on my journey and think about some of the things that I think that I did terribly wrong and that I try and encourage my team not to do now. So learning through my mistakes in the way of, connecting with people and building relationships and making new connections. So about, I think it's a long time ago now, like 4 or 5 years ago when I first started. And the things that I did terribly different back then and I regret doing was what I feel like it was burning my bridges early on. And that was through using, probably most of you know, the Google contact list, our old team's version of the grid. I never ever liked it, I'll be honest. I didn't connect with it at all, and I felt pressured into using it, and it made me feel really salesy, which I hated. Because I was so excited about the product and the opportunity, I became that crazy person who spewed Juice Plus everywhere and felt like they were cold selling to friends. And I feel like those things are the biggest things that I feel like I try and avoid my team from doing now and try and catch right from the start. Because I think when you're really new, you don't know you're doing that. It's only when you've been in the business for a while that you see it being done, or you think back to what you were doing and you're cringing, even at the thought of it. And whereas when you're in it and you're brand new and you're excited and you're doing it and you're doing the spewing and acting like the crazy Juice Plus brain damaged person, I just don't think you can even see it. So ways in which I did that and feel like I burnt those bridges and early on, some of my examples were big, lengthy, information-based emails to what my warm contact lists. So that's something I definitely recommend not to do. And that was that feeling of needing to give people so much information and almost answering all their questions before they had to ask them, I guess. And so this is where I think I got confused early on. When people were teaching me and I was reading and listening to these kinds of events, or whether it was listening to uplines or anything, when they were saying make connections and have conversations, I misinterpreted that when I was new, and I thought that meant start conversations and connections about Juice Plus. And that's where I went terribly wrong, because I was almost confused as to how you put all these names down on your Google contact list or fill up your grid, and how do you genuinely talk to all these people about Juice Plus? And I was confused as to how everyone did this. And no one corrected me, or I didn't just cotton on, because I was obviously too thick. The fact that it wasn't about that, it was about putting down these names on your list or your grid or whatever you used on who you connected with and started conversations about anything, not Juice Plus. It was just purely acting like a memory jogger on these are the people in my site that I will hopefully eventually mention it to in a genuine, caring way. So if I can encourage anyone else to move towards that more than actually just spewing Juice Plus all over the place when they talk to people, new and old friends, I think it makes a massive difference. So yeah, those big lengthy information-based emails to warm contacts was definitely a big first no-no. Obviously that didn't get received well at all. Generally just too much talking and not enough question asking, I think, was also a big mistake I made early on. And it was almost like that fear of people not know. I think probably the fear of thinking people didn't know what I was going on about, because I wasn't a qualified dietitian or doctor or something. And so you're almost just trying to compensate with information. And the information was correct. It was from like all our source guides that we have, or from the whatever, the doctors or the links or whatever. So it was correct information. It's just that it didn't even needed to be shared at that point because it was too early on and I was scaring people off. And also, so yeah, those two things, and also spammy posts. I think when I look back on the way that I would have handled social media back then, would have felt now, if I did the same thing, for me, probably would have felt like I was doing spammy type posts rather than just holding back and being more subtle in putting things out there. So they're sort of the examples of what I would encourage people not to do, because I did them all and didn't work for me. And some things I think I do better now are connecting with people on an emotional level in real life and attempt to grab contact details to later really genuinely connect. And some examples I can give for this that have happened, two ladies who I've connected with very recently in the last month, and it's just probably things that I wouldn't have got out of my comfort zone to do in the past. So the first example was about 6 months, this one was a lot longer ago. This was about 6 months ago. I was in the hospital emergency department with my little one, and he was not well, and we're waiting around, of course, being an emergency for ages. So of course, quite close to another lady there with two little kids, a baby and another toddler. And she was lovely and we connected well, and I helped her here and there with her older child, like when the doctor came to talk to her and the baby. I was trying to talk and entertain the older one just to stop her from asking mum so many questions and being frustrating. And long story short, I asked, as I was leaving, when we connected so well and I knew that this is someone I would like to be friends with, I asked if she was on Facebook. I feel like that's often the quickest way to connect, because I think if you're still strangers, I think saying, hi, can I have your phone number, it just feels a bit stalkerish to me. I don't know. It's like, so I often might just say, oh, are you on Facebook? Would you like to connect there? And more often than not, I think if people say no, or if they don't want to connect, I think they can easily just say no, I'm not. And that's the easy way out of not wanting to connect with you. And then it's an easy yes, let's swap details if they like you. So I did this with this lady at the hospital, a mum. We just swapped details there and then. And I made sure I connected with her quite soon. I didn't leave it ages. Within the next sort of 24, 48 hours, I shot her through a message and just said that I really hope her little one was well now. How did she go with the doctors? And then, went from there. And that one's actually been a much longer one because we're finally catching up this Sunday just from messaging back and forth of when we're free. So that was about 5-6 months ago. Whereas there was a much quicker one more recently. And that was waiting in IKEA. I don't know if it's the same over there, but IKEA has the child's little creche area down the bottom and where the kids can go for an hour. And my eldest one's just started begging to go in there now. And I'm like, yeah, okay, go, good. Go play. And so I was standing there in that line to book tie-in, and we got talking to another lady. And we connected really, really well straight away. I knew straight away that we were just, that feeling of just being similar souls and getting on really well. Again, after chatting about the kids, just, general chit chat, I said, hey, you on Facebook? Would you like to connect? And straight away she was like, yes, definitely, it'd be lovely. And then we've just chat ever since. And that was probably about 2 weeks ago. And we're already meeting up for a coffee this Thursday morning. And so both situations, I'm ready now that I'm meeting up with them for play dates and coffees this week. They don't know anything about, other than if they're looking at my Facebook feed, they don't know anything about Juice Plus. I genuinely would love to be friends with them. I don't, you know what I mean? So if I would love them both to become teamies or customers too, of course, but it's no skin off my nose if they're not interested when the time comes. If I mention something, I still feel like it's a gain of two relationships and friendships. So I guess it's just that for me, it's been that biggest mindset of just changing from feeling like, you're trying to rush and build relationships very quickly in order to, and it makes you feel like too much of a shark, like you're on the hunt, compared to something a slower, steady, like race, I guess, of just nurturing the relationship and connecting with people at a more genuine level. So I hope that all made sense. Yeah. We're good. Excuse my sniffing. Also, I guess I think there's that side of obviously building relationships, but also like what we've done just recently with the tribe, and how we're all connecting on a daily basis. And I think this is so important for us all right now, and to see like this group of people and what we've done with the change, and starting our own tribe, and following and connecting and encouraging each other daily. And that's just, so awesome to see. But I think that's a big part of it too, because by leading by example and showing that with each other and that support, then that's hopefully how we will attract the right kind of relationships and connections into our lives as well.
I can see that someone has Davina giggling. There's something happening behind her screen.
Horrible husband.
Go on, husband.
You put them in another room.
I tried to. He's just come home.
Hi.
Now he's doing a belly dance. Go away, this is business.
No, you need to show your face now. You can't be belly dancing.
No, he's not. No, he's out. Go.
Run.
How dare he?
That's about it anyway, guys. So, does anyone want to add anything?
I will.
I think that was the biggest thing that, sorry, I didn't mean to
You go.
interrupt. But
Go, Tammy.
I think the biggest thing that I hated about the whole Team Falcon thing was that revolting Google list, and putting down my friends on that list, and like they already knew that I took Juice Plus, and they've already seen my feed, and it's like, yeah, I've already had that conversation by the time I'd even joined up. So it was, no, teach me something that I don't yet know, please. not how to justify my existence. But, yeah. Sorry, Davina, you were going to...
No, you're right. So I think one of the main things with the Google list that we had is about making a list of all of the people that we know, so that we can actually go through and make sure that we're aware if we've had a conversation with them or not. I didn't like the whole process that we used then. I don't like technology at the best of times. And I'm just working with a coach at the moment, but she's actually got me doing the same thing. So I'm actually writing down every single person that I know, just so that I can get it out of my head and onto paper. And it's amazing the number of people. I'm over 1,000 now after using my Facebook list and business cards and everything from networking. But it's been a really good sort of reminder for me that these are people that I can still connect with. The same as Shen said, it's about connecting with them to build a relationship as well. So I'm doing a bit of networking at the moment. So we do meetings, but it's not about buying from each other necessarily, but it's about learning from each other what that person does, and I share what I do. If you might build a relationship, sometimes you won't. If you're lucky, you will. And then you're actually able to get referrals. So I've received a few referrals from doing that. So I think a list is really, really good to have, but it just depends on which type of list is going to work for each person. So Google list didn't work for me either. I don't think I ever completed it, to be honest. Whereas with this one, I'm actually writing it on paper in a notebook, so that I can keep a track of, who I've spoken to, when I've spoken to them, what the conversation's been about. And over time, I'll actually see the people that I'm conversing with more than I'm not. So you can, there might be people in there I never ever speak to. one of the tips she's given me is to send out just a random email to a lot of them, or even a Facebook Messenger, just sort of saying, hi, I noticed we're friends on Facebook. We haven't been in touch properly. Just wondering, how it is that we became friends. And just starting a conversation that way. So trying to build relationships, because you just never know who's watching you and who's actually more curious about what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Definitely. And I use the grid like that. Like I always, the minute I switched over to Celine's grid a long time ago now, long before this change, it always worked better for me, and leaving little notes on there for myself. But I'm the same. I definitely need it written somewhere in some form, because otherwise I can't remember it. There's no way. But it just seems a lot less daunting, I guess.
Yeah, it gets it out of your head. It gets it down on paper, and it's it gives you a tracking system of how to go. So anyway, this is only 2 weeks old, this training that I'm doing, or this coaching. So we'll see where it goes. It's early days. But so far it feels good, because I've actually, like I said, I've got over 1,000 people down there, and I certainly haven't spoken or connected with the 1,000 people. So it's giving me an opportunity to do that. But it's about building a relationship as well. I don't want to go out there and just be the spewing Juice Plus lady. I actually want to build friendships and connections, and that's the way that I'm going to move forward with building my business.
And that's
hopefully it'll pay off.
I think that's such an important part. Something I've struggled to, I always struggled to run by was John's way of thinking that I heard him say many a time, and I know other uplines say it too. I've heard them in training, that you go and find your new 6 best friends and go and build business with them, and they're your best friends at that time. And that can never be the case for me. It's not like business is not going to determine who my best friends of the time are. Like I have, you know what I mean? Like you have your close people in your life, and you might get new ones, of course, but it's not determined by this business going in and out. And if they suddenly drop off and aren't interested anymore in the business, I'm not going to. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to stop being interested. Can you say hello? You going to say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
It's the cute Sarah.
Hi. Oh boy. Okay, go. Yeah, so I guess that I need it to be more of a genuine from the heart thing than just always sourcing these favourite people and then pretending to be their best friends for a certain period of time until you realise they're not interested. It's like.
Yeah, agreed.
Carrie, did you want to say anything, darling?
No.
Just typing.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
I was on mute because the boys are watching TV, so I didn't want you to hear my background all the time. No, I don't really have anything to say. I'm still learning so much. Like there's so much stuff that I did with Team Falcon that I guess I'm only just realising now was a Team Falcon thing, not a Juice Plus thing. So, like to take things as gospel as this is the way it's supposed to be done, not this is the way we do it. It's different. But I feel confident moving forward. I'm not too interested in what everyone has to say and following the tribe. So I'm feeling good.
That's awesome. Yes, it is. If you don't know what you don't know, so lots of people would feel that way.
Yeah. Beautiful.
How about you, Mike? You've been very quiet over there. Where's your prawn?
What?
The prawn.
The prawn is the good prawn.
Where's
This
your
prawn.
There he is.
It's the shrimp.
There he is. What do you want to
My
add?
Louis shrimp.
Lucky.
Surely you can add something, Mike. Come on.
The thing I actually like now is that, we can still go through and actually build our team up. Like when I first started, I sort of went down the track of listening too much to what John was saying, and John was actually making me get out like 100 cold messages a day to actually try and just drum up actual business, not
I was right there.
make connection. Yep. So
And after
I
doing
learned a lot.
a long time, I think I picked up one person and they became a teamie and they were not interested and they quit after a month. It's not how you find genuine people.
Same.
Yeah, it's so much better now. From what I've learnt and the way that I was trained to approach people and what I've learnt from not actually listening to it and actually listening to a whole heap of different people, like Eric Worre and people like that, it's a totally different approach. So it's exactly like how we should be looking for the relationship first and then go down the path of business and product.
Definitely. It's just seeing which order it comes in instead of the chicken before the egg. Yes, hi. I think it's probably going to time out on us soon anyway, guys. So if it goes, thank you all. Yes, Marley.
That's all right.
Look, Marley.
I keep having Jeffrey Birdie's words go through my head. The fortune's in the follow-up. You just keep following up. Keep touching base.
Absolutely, Tammy. Spot on.
He likes that, Mike. Yeah, what's my fault?
The prawn wins.
So show me the prawn. Show me. There it is. Look.
All right.
What's he doing? Yeah. All right, guys. We'll wrap up. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
See you soon. Have a good night.
Bye.
You too.